always like to kind of take it back to the beginning. And for you, where did your journey in fiber or knitting or craft in general start?
Knitting for me started usually in like 2003. It was after my child was born, and I wanted to be able to make things for him.
Yeah.
And I was already a sewer, but then I started knitting then, and that just like really stuck with me.
Yeah. Do you feel like, was there something from your childhood that kind of like introduced it to you and you revisited it later in life?
Not so much with the knitting. My mom she would do some crocheting. She did a lot of macrame. She did a lot of like weaving of, like wall art and stuff like that. And she and my grandmother were both big sewists. So that was more what I grew up with was, there was a lot of crafting, but knitting was more like me kind of branching out, I think.
Yeah, totally. I think a lot of people start when they have children or like nieces and nephews or something like that. For me, that was when knitting really kind of became my thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's fun doing that for others, but also like they're small. So they're not
so it goes quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what was the transition point for you from kind of this hobby into a business?
I was working at a yarn shop in Portland, at Happy Knits, which doesn't exist anymore. And when I was there, obviously we had a lot of like indie dyed yarn and so forth. And we'd sit around and talk about what's not here. And for me, it was, I really want non-superwash yarn that's like tonal hand dyed. And at that time, it didn't really exist on the market. And so that was why I started doing it.
Okay. Yeah. And what was that venture like? Did it start basically by you, like, I'm going to start this company, or did you just start finding bases that you wanted to dye?
I started finding bases and then started dyeing it. And we actually launched it at Happy Knits.
Okay.
Yeah. Like right before they closed, unfortunately. And then moved over to Starlight Knitting.
Okay.
And did the Portland yarn crawl that first year in 2017. Yeah. It was their first yarn crawl and it was my first yarn crawl. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really great.
Portland has a great fiber scene. It's always been very kind of this unique space, I feel like, other than other cities.
Yeah.
Things like that. Tell me about the name.
Sea Change Fibers I originally started as the dye project because I'm also a homeschooling mom and we do like project-based homeschooling. So I'm like, okay, this is my project. But then when COVID hit and the shutdown hit and there was all kinds of stuff happening with like Black Lives Matter and all of that, I was like, I just really want to contribute to change in the world. And I want to see change. And I live right by the ocean now because I live in Santa Cruz. And so, that was why I switched over my name to Sea Change Fibers. So I do donate money to different causes, fighting racial disparity and climate change issues and so forth. But it's also just about like reflecting where I live and what's important to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel like your environment really impacts your kind of tonal range?
Very much so. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely very like ocean and forest inspired and so forth. I live like 3 blocks from the ocean and a mile from a redwood forest. So I spend a lot of time in nature and that definitely is the main inspiration for colors.
Yeah. How have you seen your business evolve over the last, when did you start?
Almost 7 years.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and so much has happened.
Yes. A lot.
So how have you seen and adapted as like the world has been changing and your business changing?
I started out mostly doing wholesale and I still do a lot of wholesale work. But I definitely have seen, I started doing like more shows and like being able to interact with customers directly, which I really love. And then obviously during COVID, like really worked on the website and so forth. But the other thing that's been a big change for me is that I finally got like a real work studio. And that has been fantastic because I've just got so much more ability to explore with colors and different bases and so forth that I didn't have the room to do before.
Yeah, totally. What are you excited about for the future?
I guess I'm just still really excited about like the bases that I use because I really seek out like climate beneficial certified wool. All of it's non-superwash and all of it is coming from like you can trace it back directly to where it came from, to the ranch. And so I'm really just love working on those relationships and keeping like deepening that path.
Yeah. What mills are you getting, or what places are you getting your wool from? Yarn?
My American wool, I get it from Meridian Mill House.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it is Chanico wool, which is from the West Coast. And then I get my British yarn like directly from a vendor in Britain. Yeah.
That's great. It's so interesting to see farm yarns from all over the world.
Yes.
And like how here they're less a novelty than they were before.
Right.
They still kind of are, you know?
Yeah.
And then in Britain, it's like
They're so good.
it's so different. It's
Yeah.
like that's all they've ever done.
Yeah.
But they're at scale. So
Yes.
it's like these massive kind of operations.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really interesting. What are you reading right now?
I read a lot of things.
I know.
Yeah.
too.
And then right now I'm reading Cloud Cuckoo Land.
Okay.
Yep.
What's it about?
It's about all kinds of things.
Yeah.
There's like a million different things happening. And like, where's this all going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. It's a very long book. So
Yeah. What are you listening to? Podcasts, music.
I don't listen to podcasts a whole lot. Most of the time I end up having to listen to my 13-year-old's music. So a lot of like Will Wood and Shelley Hall. And then, like she likes kind of, offbeat music. But then we've also done concerts this summer.
Yeah.
Like we went and saw The Cure and down at Hollywood Bowl, which was super fun. And then we saw Duran Duran in Portland, which I saw with my friends in high school in like 1983. And then I went with my friends from high school again and brought our kids.
I was just talking to one of my friends that kind of like the older school on tour right now.
Oh, they have been
And, like,
big time this year.
It's kind of crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's such a like Chicago and Duran Duran, and there was another one that they were talking about. I was like, those people are still around, and
Yeah.
it's like amazing to be able to go.
It
to.
is. Been so good. Like so many people and everybody's happy and it's super well organized.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just really, really happy.
It has really good energy.
Yeah.
Like,
Very.
I'm sure you've gone to other events
Yes.
and things, and I've always really struggled with the fluorescent lighting. Like,
Yeah.
and
The lighting here is really good.
It's amazing. Feels very open, and like, I don't know. It's just had a really nice summer feel.
I think it's been perfect.
Cool. This has been great.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Oh, we have a question.
Okay.
What's the most frustrating thing about dyeing, and what's the most rewarding thing?
I think the most frustrating thing can be just like time management, trying to balance out the dyeing itself with all the other things that you have to do. And then sometimes you got to dye something. You're like, why does this color not want to exhaust? So that's always, it doesn't happen very often, but when it happens, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And then the most rewarding thing really, honestly, is doing things like these festivals, and like my favorite thing is when somebody shows up and they're like, I bought this from you last year and look what I made. And I love seeing people's projects and, like them happily wearing their sweaters and so forth.
Totally.
Yeah. That's like the best for me.
Yeah. It's so rewarding to see something out in the wild. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
It is.
I always remember, like, even today, like I've seen a few things from the magazine, and it'll be like an issue that's like, very old. And I see it and I'm like, I don't know, it just makes you kind of like warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Yeah. Thank you.